した
自動車道はですね、少し内
Dramatic videos and news from Japan. We have fires, we have shaking, we have the highest intensity shaking, magnitude 7.1, and the aftershocks are already coming in, and officials are telling us we could see another shock equally as large. Tsunami warning. What is happening in Japan? 2 a.m. in the morning here. I was already sleeping, but I woke up from the earthquake, and I have to tell you what is going on in Japan. It's kind of crazy because it hit right underneath a highly densely populated area, not offshore, underneath Japan. Japan just recorded the most violent level of shaking that its own shaking scale is capable of measuring. It ends at number 7, and number 7 is what they have declared. It's not the strongest earthquake ever, but it's the strongest shaking on that scale. There is no level 8. The scale stops. Magnitude 7.1. Where did it strike? Kumamoto Prefecture on Kyushu at 4:27 in the afternoon. Local time, 10 kilometers deep, about 6 miles. 2 towns hit the ceiling basically. Uki City and Hikawa town at intensity 7. Not talking about magnitude, guys. You cannot stand. Furniture doesn't slide, it launches. This is how we can describe it. Unreinforced buildings fail, and Japan, we know, is one of the best prepared nations. So if we see shocking videos from there, guys, that tells you something. And again, I have a part that nobody I've heard is saying out loud yet. The Prime Minister of Japan has just told people in the worst hit areas to prepare for another earthquake, guys, the same size. This is what we remember from Venezuela, 2 magnitude 7 plus. But guys, this exact region has done this before. That's why the warnings are so dire. Not long ago, 10 years ago, 2016, Kumamoto was hit by a magnitude 6.5 intensity, 7 also. And if you see here, what you see on the USGS side, they have downgraded that earthquake, but from Japan, we hear 7.1. So again, 2016, 6.5, people believe the main shock was over, but the main shock is never the main shock until the aftershocks become getting smaller. So only 28 hours later, a magnitude 7.3 arrived. So the first earthquake was reclassified. It hadn't been the main earthquake at all. It had been the warning. So hold that number, 28 hours. We come back to it. Here's everything that is confirmed so far. And unfortunately, right now, as we speak, it's escalating by the minute. Fires. The Uki Regional Fire Headquarters say emergency lines are overwhelmed and multiple building fires have been reported. Buildings are burning. Kumamoto City is reporting fires and people are trapped in more than one location. Guys, if this is coming out of Japan, you know how bad this earthquake was. It was under densely populated area, and not only that, it was shallow as well, and it was a magnitude 7.1. And we're quite sensitive right now to these earthquakes because we have seen what happened in Venezuela. So injuries, of course, multiple people hurt at a care home in Hikawa town, the same town that recorded the absolute maximum intensity. Multiple injuries, unfortunately, reported across Uki. Calls coming in from people pinned under collapsed furniture and fallen structures. And I'm showing you videos as I have them coming in while I'm reporting and speaking what this is. When it comes to power, around 50,000 households in Kumamoto lost electricity. Kyushu Electric is warning people not to touch ground lines. And here is what you probably have in mind. Earthquake, Japan, nuclear power plant. What about the nuclear power plant? Because this can affect all of us, right? I'll get to that in a minute. Transport lines. Bulletin train services across Kyushu stopped. Kumamoto Airport closed its runway. The military is moving right now. Japan's defense minister has ordered coordinated ground, maritime, and air self-defense force operations. Guys, this is not good. The National Police Agency has opened a disaster headquarters. Kumamoto City convened its own emergency task force. I mean, thankfully, the Japanese people are so prepared and they're very experienced, we have to say, unfortunately, with stuff like this. And now let's get to nuclear. They're reporting right now because there's the Sendai and the Genkai plant nearby. And what they're saying is the first checks that they have conducted show no abnormalities right now. And that is the single most important early number. And right now it is good. Let's hope and pray that it stays like this. Industry. This region, guys, is not a small dot on the map, as you see in the aerial pictures. There is the TSMC, the largest chip maker on Earth. And it has its Kyushu hub there. Sony has plants there. Both are still assessing damages, so we will hear from that. But Japan, I mean, we know, has had far bigger earthquakes than this. So why maximum shaking? Two different numbers are being confused everywhere online right now from what I have seen. Magnitude measures and the total energy released by the fault. So Japan Meteorological Agency intensity measures how violently the ground moved, where you were standing, and this rupture was only 10 kilometers, 6 miles down, roughly 33,000 feet. That's actually, if I have a comparison for you that I thought maybe it's interesting, that is shallower than a cruising airliner is high. So this is not far below the surface. Even if they adjust that number a little bit, they always start out with 10 kilometers. But it already tells us it's shallow. So that energy almost directly hit homes and roads before any distance would weaken it. So that's how a magnitude 7.1 can deliver a maximum reading on the intensity scale, while, for example, even a bigger, deeper offshore quake might not trigger that high. And guys, this was not and is not the offshore mega thrust type of earthquake that can happen to Japan that produced, for example, the Tohoku earthquake, the 2011 tsunami. This was inside the crust of central Kyushu. That is basically one of the most active fault regions in the country. So we get to that, but let's talk about tsunami. A tsunami advisory was issued within 2 minutes for the Ariake Sea and the Yatsushiro Sea. So with waves expected up to 1 meter, that's like 3.3 feet, that they thought is possible. First wave is believed to have already arrived shortly after the quake because it happens right away. Prime Minister Sanae Takahashi has posted directly, stay away from the coast. I mean, Japanese people are trained, especially after 2011, so they know that, I think. And guys, a 1 meter wave sounds survivable, right? You're like, oh, good. This is not like the 100 feet, 30 meter wave. 3.3 feet can drag you off your feet, can swirl you under, and can drown you, and can drag you out, can smash you against something. This can be over and out. Even lower than that can already be not survivable. Moving water at that height takes adults off their feet and drags vehicles. I want to make that clear. But an advisory is not an emergency. It's not the emergency here that I want to say. I think in this case, the tsunami threat is the smaller story. The aftershocks, hopefully aftershocks, is the biggest story. Because now let's get back to what I said to you. Hold that in the back of your mind. The time frame, 28 hours. Takaichi's statement did two things. So she said, lives are the top priority and a government task force is standing up. And then she told people in the hardest hit areas to stay alert 4 earthquakes of similar scale. So of course that's not a prediction, right? It's standard Japanese guidance, and it exists because of Kumamoto. So their own meteorological agency advises that for roughly 1 or 2 weeks after a large earthquake, a quake of comparable size can follow. Aftershocks have already started. Magnitude 4.5 hit right away 2 minutes after the main shock. Another one 4:39, another one 4:55. We have a separate Shindo 5 event in the Amakusa Ashikita area just after 5 o'clock. I want to tell you before we go on with this about a statistical rule that seismologists use, and it's called the Bath's law. So the largest aftershock typically lands about 1.1 to 1.2 units below the main shock. So applied here, that's around a magnitude 5.9 to 6.0. Of course, this is not a forecast that I'm giving you, and it's not a ceiling. It's a benchmark of what to still expect. So stuff that's already damaged, areas that are already under strain, with these aftershocks can give them the rest, right? So this is dangerous for a reason that people often underestimate. Let's not forget that a magnitude 6 releases a fraction of the energy of a magnitude 7.1. But again, as I said, it lands on buildings, on retaining walls, on slopes, on roads that have already been damaged. The second hit doesn't need to be as strong. It only needs to be strong enough to bring buildings down. So 3 things are already spreading, and all 3 are wrong. So the castle footage, I want to mention that because you might see this on other channels. There's a video, I'm not going to show you, I don't want to promote it, showing you stonework falling at the Kumamoto castle. That castle was devastated in 2016. Okay, I'll show you because this was 2016. Restoration isn't scheduled to finish until, get this, 2052. So old and new footage are almost impossible to tell apart. So we have to be careful until authorities verify a specific clip, treated as reported, not confirmed. Nankai Trough, we all know Nankai Trough. There is no evidence that the Nankai megathrust has begun rupturing because of this earthquake. This earthquake here happened in Kyushu's shallow crust, not on the offshore subduction interface. I want to make that clear. So every large quake redistributes stress. We know that, especially if you watch my channel more often. But claiming that it would have activated the Nankai Trough goes far beyond what anyone can show. So 3, volcanoes. Also, Kirishima, Sakurajima will be watched closely. I mean, Sakurajima has been doing quite a bit recently. A tectonic earthquake does not mean magma's rising. I want to make that clear. But yes, it can trigger volcanoes. We've seen this in Kamchatka if a volcano is already on the edge, right? The signals that would matter are sustained volcanic tremor, rapid ground deformation, major gas changes, or unofficial alert level change. None of that has been reported right now in connection with this. There's also something that it's really important to know. Today is July 28th. On July 28th, 1889, the same calendar date, magnitude 6.3 struck Kumamoto, ended around 20 people, and destroyed parts of that same castle. So that castle seems not to be in favor. It's coincidence, still not a pattern, but it tells you what this ground has always been doing. So who are the culprits? Central Kyushu is crossed by the Futagawa and Hinagu fault zones, the same system that ruptured in 2016. So the number that matters next is not another headline that it's repeating, the magnitude 7.1. The first aftershock map, and they're already coming in, right? If the aftershocks stay tightly clustered around Uki, then this is a normal sequence that is winding down. If they start forming a line northeast or southwest along the fault, scientists will be asking whether stress is loading the next segment of the fault. So until we have more aftershocks and that map exists, nobody in Japan can tell you the worst is over. And in 2016, remember, the worst came second. Just a new announcement, Japan's prime minister has said injuries have been reported due to the quake and buildings have collapsed in the region. And a large bridge has also collapsed. So this is an ongoing thing, guys. I'll keep you updated. So sorry to wake you up with this. If it's your morning or if it's your evening, sorry that you have to go to sleep with this. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I wanted to sleep because I have to get up early technically. So maybe I'll just do not sleep and see if I can get more updates for you guys. I have to edit this video anyways. So I guess it's going to be an all-nighter. So yeah. If you're interested, what was shaking China? Just also shortly before that, a doublet, 2 earthquakes, same magnitude. Reminds us of Venezuela. So check it out here. I see you in a second. Bye-bye.